I used to think exhaustion was just part of love. When my daughter was 3, I worked mornings at a dental office and cleaned offices downtown at night. When she was 8, I started an online bookkeeping certification after she fell asleep. The glow of my laptop balanced on the ironing board because we didn't have a desk. When she was 12, she asked why I never dated. "Busy," I told her. That was easier than explaining that I had chosen stability over risk, tuition over vacations, health insurance over romance. I told myself there would be time later. Later never really arrived, it simply changed shape. By the time she was engaged, I had built a modest consulting business. Nothing flashy, but steady. I had savings. I had my own small townhouse. I had learned how to sit alone in the evenings without feeling abandoned by the silence. I thought that meant I had done well. At the wedding reception, there were 300 guests. Her fiancé's family was large, loud, generous. They paid for most of it. I contributed quietly where I could: the photographer upgrade, the honeymoon deposit she didn't know about. I wore navy, understated, appropriate. During dinner, her maid of honor gave a speech about college adventures. Her new mother-in-law spoke about gaining a daughter. There was laughter, clinking glasses. Then my daughter stood. She looked beautiful, composed, confident in a way I never quite was at her age. "I learned a lot growing up," she began. "Mostly what I don't want." The room shifted, just slightly. She smiled, but it wasn't a soft smile. My mom did her best. But she was lonely and bitter. "I don't want to end up miserable like her." There it was. Clear, clean, public. A ripple of uneasy laughter passed through the tables. Someone near the back coughed. My chest felt hollowed out, as if the air had been removed. Lonely, bitter, miserable, 3 words to summarize 27 years. I became aware of my hands folded in my lap. They were steady. That surprised me. I stood slowly. Not abruptly. Not theatrically. She looked relieved at first, as if expecting me to wave it off, to play along. That's the role I had always played: absorb, smooth, protect. "I'd like to say something," I said. My voice carried more evenly than I felt. She hesitated. The DJ looked between us. I nodded toward him. Earlier that week, I had asked for 2 minutes in the schedule for a parent tribute. I hadn't been sure I would use it. "Let me tell you who I really am," I said. I gave the DJ a small signal. The lights dimmed. On the large screen behind the dance floor, a video began. The first clip was grainy: my old kitchen, yellow walls, her booster seat visible in the background. I was younger, tired, hair pulled back. "If you're watching this someday." Video, me said, "It means I finally figured out how to put these clips together." A few guests shifted in their seats. The next clip: me in scrubs, sitting in my car at night. "It's 11:40 p.m. You're asleep at Mrs. Donnelly's. I picked up an extra shift because your field trip costs more than I expected. I don't want you to worry about money the way I did." Then another: stacks of paperwork on the kitchen counter. "I turned down a date tonight. He was nice, but I'm trying to pay off the credit card before your braces consultation." The video moved through years. Short, unpolished recordings I had made mostly for myself. Little explanations. Little reassurances to a future version of her who might one day ask why I always seemed tired. Hospital bracelets from the night she broke her arm. Acceptance letters spread across the dining table. The email confirming her study abroad deposit. A shot of me sitting alone at her high school graduation after she ran off with friends. "I'm not lonely." One later clip said, "My hair streaked with gray now. I just chose you first." The room was completely silent. Halfway through I saw my daughter stand abruptly. She stepped toward the DJ, whispering something urgent. He looked uncertain. The wedding coordinator, clipboard in hand, headset glowing, moved quickly to intercept. I watched her lean in, hear my daughter's protest, then shake her head gently but firmly. "It's on the schedule," she said, loud enough for the nearby tables to hear. 2 minutes. The lights remained dim. The video continued. There was nothing scandalous, no secrets, no dramatic revelations, just context, just the unglamorous mechanics of sacrifice. The final clip was recent. "I hope," I said on screen, sitting in my quiet townhouse living room, "that you build a life that's full. I hope you fall in love. I hope you don't measure happiness by how often you're accompanied. And if you ever think I'm bitter, I forgive you. It's hard to see someone clearly when they've been holding the light behind you." The screen faded to black. The lights rose slowly. I became aware again of 300 faces, not pitying, not amused, just thoughtful. My daughter's expression had changed, not shattered, not humiliated, just pale, as if she had stepped into colder water than expected. I took the microphone once more. "I was never lonely," I said calmly. "I was busy. I was building something stable. For you, that choice had a cost. But it wasn't misery. I let that settle. You don't have to live like I did. You shouldn't. Every generation gets to choose differently, but don't mistake quiet for emptiness." I handed the microphone back to the DJ. There was no applause at first. Then a few scattered claps. Then more. It wasn't triumphant. It wasn't roaring. It was restrained, almost respectful. I returned to my seat. Dinner resumed. Glasses clinked again. The band started up. The wedding continued, because weddings always do. My daughter avoided my table for a while. I didn't chase her. I didn't leave either. For the first time in years, I felt no need to defend myself privately, to explain, to soften. The record had been corrected, not through accusation, through evidence. Later in the evening she approached. Her makeup had been touched up. Her posture was composed. "I didn't know you recorded those," she said quietly. "There are many things you didn't know," I replied, not unkindly. She nodded. There were 100 possible apologies hovering in the space between us. None fully formed. "I have to get back," she said. "I know." She returned to the dance floor. I watched her spin under the lights, radiant, surrounded. I stayed for one more song. Then I slipped out without announcing it. Outside, the night air felt cool and expansive. I sat in my car for a moment, hands on the steering wheel, breathing steadily. I had loved her the only way I knew how, imperfectly, completely. For years I thought that meant disappearing. Tonight, I didn't disappear, and that was enough.